I'm the most annoying guy on set because I'm saying, excuse me, you do realize that this should be happening and they wouldn't do that, and you haven't read this, that means this would be impossible. And everyone's just going, Henry, just shut up and do the thing. And I'm like, I don't want to do the thing because he wouldn't do it this way, and he can do this.
What's this? Oh, I saw this. Henry Cavill says he's not a fan of sex scenes in film and television and believes that they're mostly a bit of a cop-out. Fucking true. Absolutely true.
It's when you have a sense that you're going, is this really necessary? Or is it people just with less clothing on?
Right.
Yeah. And that's where you start to get more uncomfortable and you're thinking, there's not a performance here. TV show or a movie is just filled with sort of gyrating bodies, and you're going, okay,
right.
But I mean, what is this doing for us apart from the idea of like, oh, naked person, great. Yeah.
When South Park takes aim at you, it usually means you've become part of the cultural conversation for all the wrong reasons. And that's exactly what happened when South Park dropped its latest episode, mocking Netflix's The Witcher. And more specifically, the disastrous handling of Season 4 after Henry Cavill's exit. The parody wasn't subtle. In classic South Park fashion, they portrayed a clueless group of writers sitting around a table, high-fiving each other while bragging about how they made a fantasy show for people who hate fantasy. The jokes landed perfectly because, for fans, it wasn't even satire, it was reality. And when the episode went viral, guess who chimed in? Henry Cavill himself. The man who had carried The Witcher on his back for 3 seasons, only to watch the writers dismantle everything he had fought to preserve, responded with biting humor of his own. Cavill didn't rant. He didn't lash out. He mocked them with the same dry, sharp wit that made his portrayal of Geralt unforgettable. The message was clear. If South Park could see what went wrong, so could he.
And it was not even a year ago where Henry very publicly said that he is committed to doing the planned 7 seasons of the Netflix Witcher on one condition. That condition being that the writers can manage to tell great stories while honoring the source material this show is apparently meant to be based on. Now,
oh, okay, well that actually does fucking indicate something, doesn't it? Let's read this again. Absolutely, he says, and this is a quote, as long as we can keep telling great stories which honor Sapkowski's work. So guess, I wonder what the odds are that a Netflix series isn't going to honor the original content of which the series is built off.
The South Park episode that started it all was titled The Witcher Without a Witcher. The premise was simple, but brutal. In the episode, the boys stumble across a Netflix production set where everyone is celebrating a bold, inclusive reboot of a medieval story, one that no longer includes its main character. The writers in the parody brag that fans don't know what they want and that source material is for nerds. They rewrite major plot lines on a whim, change timelines mid-scene, and add random musical numbers because, in their words, that's what algorithms demand. By the end of the episode, the show collapses into chaos, and Netflix executives are shown literally throwing money into a bonfire labeled Fan Trust. It was savage, and it hit too close to home. Fans flooded social media with clips from the episode, tagging Netflix, the showrunners, and The Witcher's writing staff. Comments poured in. Even South Park gets it. Bring back Cavill. Within hours, The Witcher was trending again, but not because of excitement, because of embarrassment. Not long after the South Park episode aired, Henry Cavill made his move. During a Q&A for his upcoming Warhammer 40K series, a fan jokingly asked him if he had seen South Park's take on The Witcher. Cavill smiled, the kind of smile that says everything before words even begin, and replied, "I have, and I think it was quite accurate." The crowd erupted. That one word, accurate, set the internet on fire. It was Cavill's polite but lethal confirmation that he agreed with South Park's portrayal. He didn't have to say the writers' names. Everyone knew who he meant. Later, in a promotional interview, Cavill doubled down, saying, "You can't build a fantasy world if you don't respect the world you're adapting. When you mock what made it great, it eventually mocks you back." That single sentence hit like a hammer. Fans called it the most eloquent takedown of the Witcher writing team to date. Memes exploded overnight. One viral post showed Geralt, Cavill, holding a sword with the caption, "Respect the lore," or "Face the South Park treatment." Cavill didn't need to insult anyone directly. His humor and calm delivery did all the damage. The fan base went into overdrive. Within 24 hours, hashtags like #HenryWasRight, #RespectTheLore, and #Fire. The writers dominated social media reaction videos flooded YouTube. Every major commentary channel weighed in, calling Cavill's subtle mockery the mic drop moment that officially ended The Witcher's credibility. Reddit threads filled with fans sharing their favorite moments of South Park's parody side by side with real Witcher scenes. The comparison was painful. The parody version looked more self-aware than the actual show. Even diehard defenders of Netflix's adaptation couldn't argue anymore. The writing was officially the punchline of a global joke. Cavill's fans pointed out that this was poetic justice. For years, the actor had begged the writers to honor Sapkowski's novels and the games that fans cherished. Instead, they dismissed his input, and now even South Park, known for its savage but insightful humor, had exposed exactly why he walked away. One viral tweet summed it up best. Henry Cavill didn't leave The Witcher, he escaped it. The aftermath was devastating for the Witcher writing team. Within days, entertainment outlets reported internal frustration inside Netflix's offices. The writers, already facing backlash for Season 4's direction, were furious about being mocked on national television. One insider claimed that meetings turned tense as executives demanded answers for why The Witcher had become a cultural punchline, but fans weren't sympathetic. They remembered interviews where writers admitted they didn't like the source material. They remembered reports that the team mocked the books and games in the writer's room. So when South Park parodied them as arrogant storytellers who disrespected their own fans, it didn't feel exaggerated. It felt like truth. Cavill's mockery poured salt on the wound. His classy, humorous reaction contrasted perfectly with the writer's defensiveness. One fan wrote, "Henry's laughing. The writers are fuming. That tells you everything." By now, The Witcher Season 4 wasn't just another Netflix show. It was a public relations disaster. The damage extended far beyond social media. After the South Park episode and Cavill's remarks, interest in The Witcher Season 4 plummeted. Analytics from major streaming trackers showed a steep decline in trailer engagement. Reddit polls revealed that the majority of fans planned to skip the new season entirely. The tone online was merciless. Comment sections under official Netflix posts were filled with jokes referencing South Park. Fans began quoting lines from the parody whenever the writers tried to promote the show. One fan commented under the trailer, "Did the algorithm write this, or was it the guys from South Park?" Another wrote, "Even satire has better world building." The writers tried to move on, posting vague tweets about creative risk-taking and artistic vision. But it was too late. Cavill's single word, accurate, had become the final stamp of disapproval that turned the fandom completely against them. Clips of Cavill laughing about South Park's parody spread across every platform imaginable. Fans edited his comments into montages of Witcher clips, overlaying them with captions like, "He warned them." Others remixed his smile into meme videos set to triumphant music, turning him into a symbol of creative integrity, triumphing over corporate meddling. Even journalists who once dismissed the controversy began to take Cavill's side. Major entertainment outlets published think pieces titled, "Henry Cavill was right all along," and "When South Park says what fans were thinking." One article argued that Cavill had won the cultural war without lifting a sword. In podcasts, commentators described how Cavill's humor succeeded where outrage never could. Instead of sounding bitter, he came across as confident and self-assured. A man who knew he had fought for the right thing and had no regrets. His laughter wasn't cruelty, it was validation. Eventually, one of the Witcher writers couldn't stay silent. In a now-deleted post, they called South Park's parody disrespectful and accused Cavill of encouraging toxicity. That was a mistake. Within hours, fans flooded their replies with quotes from South Park and Cavill's interviews. "You called it disrespectful? You disrespected the source first." Don't blame South Park, blame your writing. The backlash was swift and brutal. Even neutral voices in the entertainment industry weighed in, saying that when satire hits too close to reality, the only right response is humility. By lashing out, the writers only confirmed what everyone already believed, that they couldn't take criticism and had lost touch with the fans. Cavill, meanwhile, stayed silent. He didn't need to say another word. The internet was speaking for him. The impact of Cavill's comments went beyond The Witcher. Industry insiders began citing it as a cautionary tale. In studio meetings, executives reportedly referenced the South Park episode as a warning against alienating fan bases. Writers' rooms across Hollywood started having quiet conversations about respecting lore and listening to actors who actually understand the material. One insider summed it up best. You don't want to be the next Witcher. You don't want Henry Cavill laughing at you. Even years from now, the South Park parody will be remembered as the turning point where The Witcher became a textbook example of how arrogance destroys a franchise. And Cavill's smirk, the one that launched 1,000 memes, will remain the definitive symbol of poetic justice. At the end of the day, South Park didn't create the problem, it exposed it. The writers of The Witcher mocked the fans, dismissed the lore, and ignored the actor who cared more about the story than anyone else. And when it all came crashing down, Henry Cavill didn't have to say much. A single word, accurate, did what 3 seasons of corporate spin couldn't. It told the truth. Now, whenever fans talk about The Witcher, they don't mention the writers. They mention Cavill. They mention the man who stood his ground, respected the material, and proved that authenticity always wins in the end. Because when even South Park joins your critics, and the actor you replaced laughs in agreement, it's over. The story's been written. The legacy is sealed. The Witcher may stumble on without him, but Henry Cavill will always be the one true White Wolf.